Victor Von Doom, aka Dr. Doom, is arguably the greatest villain in the Marvel Universe. But if you look a little bit closer, Your Honor, at the evidence, you'll see that our client is justified in all of his actions.
Yeah, a lot of people falsely accuse this guy of being a naughty boy, but no, it's not the case. There are mainly three categories of quote-unquote crimes that Victor Von Doom commits. One, magical crimes. Two, his longtime rivalry with Reed Richards, sometimes manifesting in questionable actions, according to the general population, of course. And three, he tries to take over the world or amass large amounts of power, seemingly for selfish reasons. But we're going to go into each and every one of those things right now. Let's start with magical crimes.
Yeah, and if we miss anything, just go ahead, comment down below which things you think we missed here. You know what? We're going to make a promise. We're going to respond to every single comment in this video. Gator, how would you summarize his magical schemes, his crimes he's committed?
Yeah, there are a lot of them, supposedly. He tries to enlist the help of Morgan Le Fay, who is a known villain. You know, Tony Stark was pissed about that. There's a lot of collateral damage involved in his magical experimentations, like the Book of Doom stories, for example, when he rises to power in Latvia. He even betrays Doctor Strange and condemns his soul to Mephisto, a lot of things like that. But what all of these have in common, contrary to popular belief, it is not for selfish reasons. I want that stricken from the record. There's no selfishness involved here at all. Dr. Doom did all of this to try to amass as much magical power as possible to save his mother from Mephisto, because when Dr. Doom was a child, he lived in the ghettos, some Romani ghettos over in Eastern Europe, and his mom, who's dirt poor and has no power to help her kids, she made a contract with Mephisto in order to try to get themselves out of the gutter, right? It didn't work out so well, and she ended up losing her soul, but Doom is so touched by this, and Doom is so moved by this. Dude, come on. What son doesn't love his mother? He's trying to go through the gauntlet in order to accumulate magical powers and mystical energies to go and spank Mephisto, right? Take his mother back from there, free her soul. And by the way, he does that eventually. The whole thing I said, when he quote-unquote betrays Doctor Strange, it was all a ruse. He gave Doctor Strange a little gadget in order to let him get out of the situation that he was in. Essentially, he lied about being willing to sacrifice Doctor Strange's soul, and it came off like a classic selfish Doom moment. Mephisto was like, typical Doom, like that's not going to work on me. But it turns out that he actually let Strange get out of the situation, which if Mephisto found out about, then it would be Doom's ass on the line. So it was in the end a sincere attempt at rescuing his mom, willing to sacrifice himself, and because of that, it did save his mom. And then his mom ended up kind of not being appreciative of it anyway, because Doom kind of used some trickery. So it didn't really work out for him in the end, but he did save his mom. So that's the reason why he tries to accumulate magical shit.
Classic Doom, cards close to the chest, doesn't let everyone know the information. I mean, yes, it can kind of be frustrating if you're on his team and you're like, what is he doing? He's going to sacrifice me. Oh no, I'm in hell now. Ah! You know, that can be frustrating. I can understand if you're in Doctor Strange's position. However, you gotta trust this guy. He's looking. He has an end goal in sight that your little brain can't even comprehend. I believe he uses the ultimate nullifier. Even be able to use that is just like his brain is like a whole other plane of existence. That he is the perfect mix of tech, leader, and also magical person. He's like basically Tony Stark, Reed Richards, and Doctor Strange all put together. You gotta trust this guy. No one's trusting him. Everyone doubts him. Yeah, trust the plan.
He is, objectively, in Marvel, he is bare minimum the second smartest man on Earth next to Reed Richards. Arguably the smartest man. You know what I mean? There's not any definitive statements on that, but arguably the second smartest man. Doctor Strange, where are you at, buddy? Not that high.
Would you consider Dr. Doom having mommy issues if this is all he's doing? He's like, I need to save my mommy from eternal damnation and suffering.
At any cost?
Would you say that? Would you say that? Would you say he's a mama's boy?
I'd say he's a mama's boy. Yeah. Would I say he has mommy's issues? Or mommy issues? No, I would not say he has mommy issues. He's a mama's boy, to be sure. But again, what young boy raised by a great mom isn't to some extent a mama's boy? I mean, listen, Your Honor, sue Doom for being a great son. Is that what he's on trial for? Being a great son? Because guilty is sin.
Oh, or being just a mama's boy. I don't think that's a bad thing. Like,
no.
Yeah, it's probably not ideal. You know, I don't know how many TLC sitcom or what do you want to say, reality TV shows I've watched with my wife about mama's boys that make me want to cringe on my...
What, MILF Manor?
That's a whole nother level of mama's boy. Yeah.
Real show.
It's not a crime to be a mama's boy. I don't think he takes it too far. He just saves his mom from, again, eternal damnation, suffering, in hell, from Mephisto. And his mom is down there for what reason? She wasn't like, I'm going to make a deal with the devil to have eternal youth and have all the boys I want. No, she's down there because she's trying to do some altruistic actions for her people, and this is where she ends up.
Yeah,
and
well, that's
then
exactly
Doom
right.
Picks it up later.
He does pick it up later, but the point is, it is true that Doom uses magical powers after this because he ends up saving his mom, with Strange in that comic. I think it was called Triumph and Torment, something like that. Anyway, he does save his mom, and after that, he continues to use his magical powers and accumulate more powers if he can. But those would be for the other crimes that he will go on to commit. But it should be noted that after that point, he really doesn't go way out of his way to try to accumulate more magical powers out of nowhere. It doesn't happen. It's only in advantageous situations. He's not going out of his way, crucifying people, hurting other people, killing other people to get more powers.
Funny enough, Victor Von Doom's hatred of Reed Richards has to do with magic when they first meet each other. At least they're in, was it Empire State U or whatever, the made up university that they're attending.
Well, 100% true. As soon as they meet each other at university, Reed and Doom kind of have this intellectual rivalry. And listen, to be honest, maybe Reed meant it without that much malice or whatever, but Doom's a sensitive boy, like we talked about. He's a mama's boy, and Reed, he was the initiator of the pranks, okay? Like, there was a trophy that Doom won. He changed the name from Doom to Doof, stuff like that, all right? It's public embarrassment. Everybody laughed at him. Everybody was pissing on Doom. I felt really bad for him. And then the time comes, Doom is doing nothing but spending his time trying to develop a technology, almost like a dimension teleporter thing to get his mom out of Mephisto's area or get himself to the underworld, right, where Mephisto's dimension is, to save his mom. And Reed starts poking at him and saying, hey, Doom, you really think it's going to work? You really think it's going to work? Aren't you making a little bit of calculation mistakes? Aren't you think you're going to rip a hole in reality? Starts laughing at him, and Doom is like, no. And so he tries it out, and sure enough, it didn't work, right? It malfunctions. It gets destroyed.
Everyone has performance issues.
Everybody has performance issues. Yeah. And Doom blames Reed for that, for either, one, sabotaging it, which is definitely possible. I mean, Reed was kind of a shit stirrer in that time, right? Or if Reed really did know what the problem was, which he claimed kind of to vaguely, right? Why didn't he really insert himself to try to fix it, right? Like, if he really thought it was going to be that dangerous of a thing and he knew the noble purpose of this machine, why wouldn't he really insist, hey, Doom, I know we had some bad blood between us in the past, but dude, let me help you out here. This is important. Did he do that? No, he didn't. Of course, Doom's going to resent him for that.
Doesn't this also cause the disfigurement on his face? Victor's face?
It does. And this dude was hot as hell. He was a 10 before that.
Dude, can you imagine this annoying little, my name is who the hell's name's Reed? Reed?
Yeah.
Like, you read a book? Holy shit, this name sucks, dude.
Little on the nose.
I don't like Reed. I'm so on Victor's side right now. I'm standing up. I'm pacing back and forth, dude.
Reed Richards versus Victor Von Doom. Are you shitting me?
Dude, this can you imagine being bullied by this nerd too? And what did he do? Did he have to fight for his existence? Victor Von Doom, his mother and father both died, and he basically just willed himself into a position where he could be, he's out of his element, too. He's not like he was I was born in New York City, and I just went to where the place was going to be best for me to learn and become a scholared person in this world. No, dude, I had to study science and magic in these dark little places within the world to finally get here. Even if that's not true, you can kind of get that gist off of Victor, though. You know what I'm saying? This guy, he's just suffering, and then on top of it, you just get this stupid bully that disfigures Doom.
Right. This whole narrative that Doom came in here with a chip on his shoulder, just wanting to victimize anybody who was more intelligent than him and wouldn't listen to any critiques and everything. No, that's not true. It's only with Reed, and it's because he ruined that relationship from day one. I want any kind of predetermined, premeditated vendettas. Strike that from the record, please, Your Honor. Now, when it comes to what happens after this point, again, he has this vendetta against Reed. There's definitely bad blood between them. At one point, he traps Reed's mind in a simulation of a dimension that makes him relive his own failures and fears on repeat. Dude, listen, that would suck 100%. That would suck, no doubt. Reed's suffering. Okay, maybe it's a little over the top. At another time,
not at all. Imagine Victor. He's just sitting there, probably thinking about all of his failures that Reed did to him.
Listen, I agree with you. We're going to get to the justification because I got to lay the groundwork here because just on the surface, this might be a little bit far. Another time, he actually comes up with a technology to swap bodies with Reed and then tries to sabotage the Fantastic Four from within. In the "Is This Land Is Mine" comic, he tries to harness cosmic energy to actually suppress Franklin Richards' latent mutant powers because he's aware of them, in the womb, right? He tries to suppress these powers in the womb, knowing that it could kill him. There's a high chance it could kill this kid, and he does it anyway. But for that one, dude, listen, for that one, completely easy justification there. He's not even trying to screw over Reed in that situation. That's like a nice little byproduct. You know how powerful Franklin Richards is? This dude is on Galactus's level, and he's going to be an infant? How dangerous is that? Of course you're going to try to suppress this kid's powers.
Yeah, I don't know if normies know how powerful Franklin Richards is, but he should not.
Powerful.
Listen, he should not be able just to do whatever he wants. Someone needs to control this kid, or at least neuter him magically, or we want to say power-wise. Maybe not physically. Well, maybe physically. I don't know. I'm up for. I'm willing to hear a good argument. If someone says in the comments down below why you should neuter Franklin Richards, I'm here to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, Doom didn't try to do that, but if he did, we would definitely defend it.
I guess if you neutered Franklin Richards, you never have King and Conqueror. Just saying.
Yeah, potentially true. I mean, it depends. It depends on whose line the King's actually.
That's true.
Yeah,
true.
Allegedly, you never know. But anyway, when it comes to the other two, when he traps Reed's mind in the simulation, when he swaps bodies with Reed, dude, do you understand how Doom sees Reed? It all harkens back to the incident where Reed's, according to my calculations, you're a little bit off there, Doom, but I'm not actually going to do anything to help you. He sees these Fantastic Four as basically Band-Aid patchers, right? The corruption of the world is there, but they're not actually willing to address the root cause. They're just willing to like kind of suppress the problems as they come. I think in Doom's words even, I forget what comic this is from, but he says, Reed Richards merely patches the world's wounds and doesn't address the root cause, which is exactly true. They sit here in the United States, which has a huge crime problem, has a huge homeless problem, which has a huge supervillain problem, and they just wait for these people to develop their plans and then come to the surface and attack to actually address it. And when they do, they just give them this little minimal punishment, like, you stay down now, never do this again. Very Batman-esque, right? Like whenever the Joker breaks out of Arkham, he goes and kills like 20,000, 50,000 people or whatever. It's like, maybe it's best just to put this guy down. The Fantastic Four is exactly the same. Doom does not think that way. And we'll go into that in the next category of his alleged crimes, but let's just say Doom does not operate on the same level as Reed. Don't you understand why he thinks this of Reed?
Yes, I do understand that. But also, imagine the unrealistic expectation that the Fantastic Four puts for families out there. Like, look at us. Like, we're able to save the world, and we're a family. We're so functional. It's like, dude, I couldn't imagine that growing up. Looking at that every day, being like, dude, my family can't even figure out like who gets the car on the weekend, let alone these guys are saving the world. Like, we're complete idiots. We're fuck ups here at my house.
Idiots, overweight, whatever these guys. Just go to space, build yourself a spaceship, and go meet with some cosmic rays, and you'll get superpowers just like us. Like, actually, no, we're gonna get tumors the size of a second head and die.
Yeah, and imagine, like, it's not like in, I don't know if people's only exposure to Victor Von Doom is the early 2000s movie of the Fantastic Four, where he was another person on that ship that happened to get, hit with these rays, and he's like, oh, I also have powers too. No, dude, Victor Von Doom willed himself these powers. He built his intellect. He built his magical, like, sorcery abilities. The Fantastic Four were just gifted it in a freak accident. Another reason why he probably just hates these guys. Like, come on.
Doom grinded for like 20, 30 years to get where he was at. The Fantastic Four just lucked into it. They slipped in a puddle and fell in like a vat of toxic, like, essentially, you know what I mean? They're walking down the street,
right,
minding their own business, and suddenly he's gifted with these powers, just flying out in space and come across a magical radiation field. What if it killed him? It could have easily killed him. It didn't kill him. I understand where Doom's mind is here. The only reason why he tries to blame Reed and sabotage Reed is that he feels like these guys are ineffective at what they do.
True.
And and these guys, the Fantastic Four, are the lead voices that keep Doom down. We see Doom come to the surface or whatever once in a while, and he gets to kind of enact his style of justice. But when he goes, quote unquote, too far, it's always the Fantastic Four that have to come and put him down. So these guys are the roadblock between basically the world being saved by Doom or just being patched and, essentially made worse by the Fantastic Four.
The final category we want to talk about is Doom's world domination. Now that sounds very intimidating and kind of dictatorial of his motivations, but we see him in these moments, and not only is he, we'll go through each one of these, but just watch the aftermath, and just, you might not like the method, kind of like in a surgery where it's like, hey, I got to cut people open, I got to do all these horrific things. If you saw someone doing that, like in a back alley, you'd be like, what the heck's going on here? But look at the end result. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes. Yes, but even looking at the methods, this is not a situation where Doom had to just go through piles upon piles of bodies and sacrifice a bunch of people for the good of the end result, whatever, like the means not justifying the ends sort of thing. It's not like that actually at all, and that's because of his magical abilities. He was able to actually save way more lives than were lost. I shouldn't even phrase it like that because he barely lost any lives when it comes to the taking of Latveria, because this is like the case study that shows what he's looking to do when taking over the world. Okay, this guy grew up.
He's just going to take this small little industry. He's going to franchise it or just scale it up to a worldwide.
Yeah, it's exactly right, and it's easy to see. He grew up dirt poor, oppressed in the ghettos over in Eastern Europe, these Romani camps, under a hierarchy of basically dictators, which, you know, it sounds bad, dictators, but it can be good. Doom is a dictator later in his life, and we'll go into that here. Doom took over Latveria when he had the power to do so. He kind of came back as a magical being and did this, and it was a part of his process of saving his mother. But regardless, he did this, and he turned it into a prosperous, clean, happy, crimeless, completely unified society. It has extremely strong cultural cohesion, and it is regulated very, very tightly. He has an army of Doombots that do his bidding, even if it's bloody business. But guess what happens in Latveria that requires Doombots? Not much. They do not need to be deployed very often because it's a really peaceful society. And it is, you know, you might argue with this term because of when some writers take control and they frame it like with, you know, Russian gray skies, lightning happening all the time, whatever. Yeah. It's a rainy day, all right? People aren't going to be outside on a rainy day.
He can't control the climate, okay?
You can't control the climate. Your average day in Latveria is a nice, bright, sunshiny day where everybody's out and about at the park peacefully. You hear birds chirping, and everybody looks basically the same because it's very culturally cohesive.
Dude, pop a vitamin D pill if you just need your sunlight so much. If I had a choice between a safe society that where I knew my family would prosper each and every year as they got older, or and with that side, I had to deal with gray skies, or I had to deal with the amazing weather of the United States, but then I had to deal with Reed Richards just shrugging his shoulders like, I don't know what's going on here, guys. I'll just save you, but I'm never gonna like deal with the root cause here, even though as a country we're hemorrhaging internally. It's like, dude, give me Dr. Doom right now. I'll take the vitamin D. Give me the vitamin Doom. Ooh, give me the vitamin D.
Yeah, vitamin D, vitamin Doom. We do see it sometimes though in Books of Doom, 2006. We see him. It's a much better explanation of him taking over Latveria. It's after the overthrow basically, and he's rebuilding that economy after his coup, establishing free healthcare, education, and housing, which I know some people have problems with those things. You know, I'm not trying to make a claim either way on that, but the point is, in his specific study, you know, maybe compare it to the Scandinavian countries, right? On like a smaller scale, it's a small population. It works. We even have a scene depicting a Latvian family. They're celebrating Doom Day, which is like a holiday that Doom established when he went to power, you know, in a well-furnished home. It completely contrasts the former poverty, because before Doom came in, man, these streets were disgusting. Okay, there was crime everywhere, prostitution. It was not good. Violence everywhere from both the citizens and the government, right? Mm-hmm. But in this situation, you even see a small child like coming up to Doom and thanking him, a little girl, and Doom gives her a hug and everything else. And listen, dude, this might be one of the most important things of all. Like long term, Doom has been in power for decades, and the Latvian franc, which is their currency, it is almost a 1-to-1 with the United States dollar, sometimes even being worth more than the U.S. dollar. So think about that.
All right. Gator, can you tell the jury the times Dr. Doom has attempted to take over, scale up, and take over the world, and maybe even tried to take other people's powers to eventually then get to those ends?
Sure, very specific request. But yes, he did. He has stolen the powers of other people several times to try to do this. And okay, I'll just run through them. Silver Surfer, he tried to steal Silver Surfer's powers one time to try to dominate the world, thwarted by the Fantastic Four. But as we know, what would have been the result? A very, very strict zero-tolerance policy on crime in a violent world. And how would it have ended up if it's anything like Latveria? What ended up perfectly. Okay, another time he stole Purple Man's powers to be basically named ruler of Earth. He created a utopia like Latveria, but in this case, he ended up having to remove everybody's free will because of all the culture clash, right? It was too large of a scale to get it done. It's a noble cause, but that's an example of, all right, this is too large of a scale. He can't just straight up take over, right? There's got to be a lot of other things. It's a multifaceted approach. He can't just like declare himself, right? So another example of that, another approach, in 2015, during the Secret Wars event, after Avengers and New Avengers, which, by the way, he saved the multiverse, okay? His plan saved the multiverse
not just one
from
universe.
the Beyonders. Yeah.
Not just one universe.
Well, not just one
world.
Not just one country. Not just one planet. Not just one universe. The multiverse. And he created Battle World. Yeah, it's true. He formed it to his liking or whatever, where he's in charge.
Yeah.
But he organized this place to be actually very secure and safe albeit strange, like, right? Like, he had like a Hulk continent and like a Spider-Man continent, and he had Sue Storm as his wife, stuff like that. But they were all living pretty well until Reed Richards shows up in his little interdimensional donut and starts, causing drama around there, him and Thanos and female Thor or whatever. It was a pretty good situation. I think he had the Thor Corps as his police force. It's pretty badass.
Yeah. Battle World, the name needs a little, I don't know, some workshopping. Not a fan of the name, but
I'm not sure he named it, though, to be fair.
Yeah, you can kind of see what you're saying before about his view on Latveria, where he wants to keep things, he wasn't able to keep it segregated there, but, in Doom World, he's able to keep it segregated. So he's able to keep people in different kind of little areas there. And forgive a guy who actually saves the multiverse to, like, make it a little comfortable for himself. Forgive him.
Yeah, forgive him. And he had a white drip, dude, and this, like, new armor. Oh, dude, it looked so good. And imagine the weight on his shoulders in that moment, all right? He has all the powers of the Beyonder now, or the Beyonders race, flowing through him. The Molecule Man's over there doing work, just siphoning these powers and channeling it right into him. And Reed Richards, of course, stretchy boy, has to come over here and get into a fist fight, little fisticuffs, and ruined everything. And now we're back to the same old crime-ridden world that we were in, all because Doom couldn't be in charge. But actually, you know what? I'm speaking a little bit too soon, because in the most recent comics, which I got caught up on in preparation for this video, Doom actually is in charge of Earth now. He is the Emperor of Earth because he became the Sorcerer Supreme in the process of saving the Earth once again. Big shock. Big shock. Mm-hmm. There's a comic in here, okay, where Thor gives a little opinion on Doom being in charge of the Earth. And it's so good and so accurate. And I have to recite it here for you guys because it's perfect, okay? Everybody's bitching about Doom after he not only saved the Earth and became Sorcerer Supreme, but now as Sorcerer Supreme, just took out Dormammu and saved the Earth once again, okay? And Iron Man is throwing a fit, so is Sue Storm. They're like, he's Dr. Doom, so what if he's doing good things? He's still Dr. Doom. We can't let him be in charge. And Thor shows up, right, to all these people who are just bitching and crying and whining. And he says this. He says, I would put a question to thee, friends, and I would ask that you consider it carefully. Okay, and these guys are like, yeah, okay, sure, Thor, whatever you say, because they don't know the truth he's about to drop in their faces, right? He's about to throw his nuts out right in front of their faces. Thor goes, is it not possible that Doom truly is the best choice for Midgard? I ask thee to consider it carefully. He says, I am of Asgard, where the Allfather is both king and protector of the 10 realms. Odin demanded respect from mortals and gods alike, and he received it. The Allfather, my Allfather, earned it. Under his rule, each of the 10 realms was saved from all matters of calamity, disaster, and ruin across timeless eons. Of course, Odin was not perfect, and none of us are, and none knew this better than myself, now that I have succeeded him as king. But more often than not, he was the best of us. More often than not, he was all that stood between us and apocalypse. My father was a great king and a great man, and he made Asgard and all other realms what they are today. And I've been struggling mightily with why we are so certain a system which has served every other realm of the world tree so well since time immemorial would simply fail to work here on Earth. I remind thee, I am not of Midgard, and this is not my land, but Thor does not shy away from the truth. The eyes tell me that since Doom claimed his throne, Midgard has been safe, secure, and prosperous. They tell me, Avengers, that Doom has done more to improve this realm in weeks than everybody else has in years. We simply cannot ignore the good that Doom does simply because we do not like the man. Dude, how true is that? How true is that? Everything is better under Doom.
It's one of those things where you love it. You love it whenever I bring it up, but it's the classic HR meme where Doom does it. Or, like you had Reed Richards like, hey, look at me and my little frosted sides of my head here. I'm coming in trying to do something like, oh, dude, please, whatever you want. Or, better yet, it wouldn't even be Reed Richards. It'd probably be something like T'Challa or something. People are like, I love you, T'Challa. Yes, whatever you want to do to better your country or even the world. But then as soon as Doom comes in, it's like, oh, cringe. He has a metal mask on and his, he's like, I don't know.
Looks awesome.
They don't like his accent. It's like, oh, classic 80s villain vibe from you. It's like, dude, stop. Just look at the bigger picture here. I'm glad that he gets the Bifrost stamp of approval from Thor here in this moment. He needs it.
Dude.
We need more Dr. Doom love.
Oh, me too, dude. I mean, who do you respect more? Like, all the other Avengers are what, like 30 years old, 40 years old at max, and you get the approval of, like, the old boy, right? Like, the oldest, wisest dude with a sick hammer, man. That'd be the guy. I want his approval more than anybody else.
Gator, do you know what my favorite thing of Doctor Doom is, though?
What?
Man, no matter how powerful he is with all his magic, his tech, potentially world-dominating powers, like saves the multiverse, he's always strapped up. He's always got that pistol by his side.
Oh, it's like a World War II era Luger, too, dude. Oh,
just in case all else fails. Pow!
Your Honor, we rest our case.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and smash that like button.
Or not. We don't care.